Just before Guardians of the Galaxy swoop in to steal away all of the premium screens, I got a chance to see Sisu on the big screen in Dolby. Now, I don't think that you have to see this in Dolby to really enjoy it, but I really do think you should see it in the theater to experience with other viewers. You should see it in the theater on the biggest screen you can find. I enjoyed this film. This is one of my favorite of the year. And the genre, it's a conglomerate of different genres that we've all grown to love. It's a neo-noir thriller. It's a western. It's a slasher film. It has so much like anticipation in the kills. It has a lot of high intensity. It's action packed, barely any dialogue. So in that way, it reminded me of Don't Breathe. And this key character, the main character played by Yorma Tamila, reminded me of Stephen Lang from Don't Breathe. Physically, I think, reminded me of him. And it reminded me a lot of Kill Bill. It felt very Tarantino-ish, specifically Kill Bill. And the way he kills in this silent, vengeful way, in that way it does feel like Tarantino. It feels like a lot like John Wick because the kills are very creative. But it's as if the bride from Kill Bill and John Wick had a son and dropped him off in Finland or Germany and said, do what you got to do. And he did. The story is very compelling. The kills are very explosive. Some of them are outlandish, but not in a laughable way, but really creative. And it moves really fast. The runtime is only like 91 minutes. So it's really quick, but it's interesting throughout. The main character doesn't speak. He's minding his business, mining for gold. He discovers some gold, gets on his horse, takes off to God knows where, I guess the bank. And he's just trying to get to the bank. And it's on the World War II is just about over, but Nazis are trying to kill any remaining Jews they can find. Anyone they can find left, they'll hang or kill, blow up their houses, whatever, the whole bit. And he is a legend. This character played by Yorma Tamila, it's a legend. He is relentless and doesn't want to die. He's never going to die. He's minding his business out here in the wilderness, discovers gold, gets on his horse with his dog. His dog is so beautiful and so much fun. And he's on his way. And these Nazis find him and try to steal his gold because they've lost the war and are trying to secure their futures. And let me tell you, the villain, oh my gosh, the villain was so terrifying in this film. But when I tell you, you're rooting for his death, like the minute you see him on screen, because he doesn't care who's in his wake. He will have someone else kill him, a lot like in John Wick 4. So in your normal thriller, you'll have a hero. He has setbacks, and then he goes on this journey where he can't turn back. And throughout this journey, he has many victories. During those many victories, he doesn't have to face his villain, so he has some breathing room. Not in this film. There's no breathing room. This character, this hero, always faces his villain. And I mean, they're within a hair of each other, facing each other like a showdown in most of the film. It's as if it's the third act. The entire film felt like a third act, a showdown. And he has to come up with a creative way to get out of this situation. It's non-stop thrills and intensity in that way. I think that's what's great. And the score is perfectly paired with every scene. This is a good score. One of the best scores of the year. It reminded me of Don't Breathe, because this character, this hero, doesn't utter a word hardly throughout the entire film. He doesn't really utter a word. And even when he is communicating with his dog, who he's already taught to evade gunshots, or dodge gunshots. And when his enemy is staring him down and talking, he doesn't utter a word. He doesn't have to. We know what he means and what he is trying to convey without his speaking or uttering a word. I love that. All he's trying to do is get to the bait. Every movement he makes, we understand. It's not over dramatized or soapy. We know what he's doing. There are these women who were trafficked, abducted from Finland. These Finnish women who were being assaulted, and there's this one scene where they're telling them that they're telling these Nazis that you're not going to survive this, so you might as well give up now. You're not going to survive this. And I mean, every scene is just so intense. Again, this is a 91-minute film. It's easy to watch. Sometimes I was cringing looking away, especially when it was dealing with animals. I was really nervous, and sometimes the kills are very violent, so I was like cringing just a little bit, shifting in my seat, because they don't let up and they show you everything. I don't want to spoil it, but they show everything as if this is like a Tarantino film. It's a lot like that. If you like RRR, Don't Breathe, A Quiet Place, Kill Bill, John Wick, of course, Hateful Eight, my favorite Tarantino film. If you like Tarantino films, you're going to love this one. Visually, it's captured beautifully. The backdrop of this scene, despite being in the midst of World War II, is beautiful. The land that is is just very, very beautiful. It's quiet in a way, and every scene feels like it's pulsating. The kills are like so violent, and the intensity is very high. It's emotional because you're dealing with animals, you're dealing with women, and you want these villains dead ASAP. It's just a really good film. I highly recommend this film. One of the best films of the year, one of the best scores of the year. I'm looking forward to what Jorma Tamila has next, because I'm in. He's got me as a fan, and I highly recommend this film. At any rate, Sisu is playing. It's in limited release right now, so if you can catch it, see it.